Hi, second graders. We're here with another week of geometry, learning about shapes, and we are going to be talking about sides and vertices today with polygons. So we're talking about 2D shapes.
Yeah.
Okay? All right, let's go ahead and start by looking at the top of our worksheet here. It says that you can count sides and vertices to name two-dimensional shapes, 2D shapes. Look at how many sides and vertices each shape has. Okay, so for the example, they give us a triangle, okay, and we're pointing to the side, which is like the outer edge, and I can see when I count that there is 1, 2, 3 sides. So they have already put over here that there are 3 sides. And when I count the vertex, or the vertices, those are the little points where 2 sides meet. Also the corners, we might call them corners. And I like to circle those vertices while I'm counting because it helps me keep track. So I see here's 1, here's 2, here's 3. Wow, what a coincidence.
Huh.
The same amount of sides and vertices. I wonder if that will continue.
Well, maybe we
There's
can
only
find out.
one way to find out, huh?
Yeah.
All right. I see a new word here called quadrilateral. Can you say that?
Quadrilateral.
Yes. Ooh. And I'm going to give you a hint because I think everybody should know this. Quad means 4. So that's a huge hint.
Okay.
Okay? Keep that in mind.
All right.
The first thing we're going to do, which they've kind of already done for us, is we're going to count the sides. And I see that there are 2 shapes underneath quadrilateral. And that's really important, you guys. One of the key things of this lesson is to realize that just because it has a certain amount of sides doesn't mean it always has to look the same. Let's count the sides and then I'll get a little deeper into that. So on this, what looks like a square to me, I have 1, 2, 3, 4 sides. They've written that here. And this shape also has 1, 2, 3, 4 sides. Both of those are quadrilaterals because they both have 4 sides.
That's so cool.
Even though they look different.
Huh.
Yeah. So Miss Marquardt, I would like for you to count the vertices. Do you have a marker?
I do.
Go ahead and circle the vertices, the points on each of our quadrilaterals.
All right, so I'm going to take a look at this square first. And what you did up here is you circled the vertices are where those 2 sides come together and make a little point.
Yes.
So I'm going to circle 1, 2, 3, and 4.
Yep.
That's the same number of sides. Let's try the other one, see if it's the same rule. All right, 1, 2, 3, 4. Wow.
Very good. So both of our quadrilaterals, quad means 4, have 4 sides and 4 vertices. And even though they look a little different, they both have 4 sides and 4 vertices. That doesn't change. They're both quadrilateral. 4-sided, 2-dimensional shapes.
You know how I remember quadrilateral? When I was a kid, I had friends that they rode quads, which are, it's a word for a 4-wheeler.
A quad runner or a 4.
Yeah. They would say, hey, let's go on our quads and go for a ride. And it was called a quad because it has 4 wheels.
4 wheels.
And quadruplets are like twins, but there's 4 of them. So that's another way to remember.
Yep. So you probably have heard the word quad before and you didn't even realize what it was.
That it means 4. So really quickly though, does that mean that we could call this shape a square and a quadrilateral?
Yes, it does. Yeah.
Wow.
There are many different types of quadrilaterals, which we'll get into later.
That's really cool.
Yeah. So let's take a look at the next one. So the next one says Pentagon. We'll get into what pent means in just a moment.
Okay.
First thing we're going to do is count the sides. So like I just did, I would like for you to count the sides of each of these shapes and write it down here once you have it done.
All right, so
I want you to copy what I did. I want you to put a line through it because that helps keep track of it. The sides are the lines on the edges.
And then I won't count them twice if I put a line on it. So once I put the line through, that means we don't count that one again. So I'm going to start at the top. So 1, 2, that's a tricky one because this is actually another line. 3, 4, 5.
5. Check this one and see if you get the same.
All right, I'm going to start at the top. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, they both have 5 sides.
So pent means 5.
Oh, yeah. Very cool.
5 sides. All right, now we're going to count the vertices, which is our points or our corners where 2 lines meet. And I'm going to do this one for you, okay? Because this one is a little tricky.
It does look hard.
I see that I have a vertex here. Here's 1. Here's another one, 2. Here's the third one. Now, you might not realize this, but even though the point is pointing inside, it's still a vertex. Oh. So this right here is also a vertex.
Tricky.
It is tricky. And here's our 5th one, which matches up to the 5 sides.
Okay.
How about you do that one for us?
All right, they look kind of close together, but I'm going to start over here. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This one reminds me of a baseball field.
It does. All right, so 5 sides and 5 vertices. So far, we're 3 for 3. 3 sides and 3 vertices, 4 sides and 4 vertices, 5 sides and 5 vertices. So the pattern is, however many sides it has, it should have the equal amount of vertices if it's a correct polygon.
Well, that's an easy pattern to remember. So when we get to this one, however many sides a hexagon has, it's probably going to have the same number of vertices.
So if you should have 6 sides and you only circle 5 vertices, you probably missed one.
So they should probably go back and double check their work.
Do you think they'll be able to do this one on their own?
I think so.
I think so too. So you guys are going to have to do the hexagon on your own. And once you count those sides and vertices, and you make sure you use your lines for the sides and your circles for the vertices, and you've written them down, you'll be able to unlock the secret of what hex means, what number hex stands for. Let's take a look down here and see what the share and show means. It says, write the number of sides and the number of vertices. So we're doing the exact same thing we did up here, but they're only giving us one shape for each of them. So I think the kids can do these. I'm going to ask if maybe you can help us with that one, Miss Marquardt, the Pentagon.
Okay, well,
it's a tricky shape.
It is a tricky shape. And you know what? I remember doing a pentagon earlier up here. And when we were doing the vertices, that was the trickiest part. So I'm going to see if I can find all of the vertices. I'm going to start over here. So 1, 2, 3, 4. But you told me that a pentagon has 5 vertices. Oh, it's this one down here.
It's pointed inside instead of out, so it tricked you.
That is the trickiest one on the pentagon. So really, the pentagon would probably have 5 sides, and it's going to have 5 vertices.
Yes.
And is there another page we have to do as well?
Yes. You guys will need to finish these and make sure that you write the lines in and how many sides and vertices. Pause the video if you need to. Miss Marquardt is going to erase the board so we can show you guys what to do on the back of the page.
All right.
All right, so on the back it says, and we have a little word bank over here, write the number of sides and the number of vertices, then write the name of the shape. So, all of the information you need is on the other side. Okay, we have talked about a pentagon, a triangle, a hexagon, and a quadrilateral. And we even talked about what the beginning of these words stand for. Like, I remember you saying that quad means 4. So I might even put 4 next to quadrilateral to remind myself. And then you guys can use the back of the page to write down what does pent stand for, what does tri, what does hex, because all of that information is on the other side. How many sides do each of those have?
And speaking of information, didn't we send home a resource page last week?
Yes.
That if they didn't get rid of and they saved, has like all of this information on it?
It has 2D shapes on one side and 3D shapes on the other. And in every video last week, we told them to not throw it away or give it back to us to save it.
So if they got stuck and they didn't get rid of it,
that would be a great place to go.
They could use this as well.
Okay, let's take a look at this. So I'm seeing some shapes like yeah, this kind of looks like a turn to the side square, a diamond that looks like a square. I can see a triangle. But some of our shapes look really crazy. So I think I'm going to do this one with the kids.
Yeah.
And I'm going to let them finish the rest of these.
Okay, yeah, that one, I don't recognize that shape.
It's not a recognizable shape. It's what we call an irregular polygon, but it's still a polygon. Okay, so here we go. First thing we need to do is, we don't know the name until we know the sides and vertices. So I'm going to start by counting the sides. That's easiest. Okay. I'm going to put a line, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 sides. Okay. And if you have trouble figuring out if these are two separate sides, anytime you get to a vertex or a corner, that line segment is done. And the next part, if it's after the corner, like right here, this is a vertex. Both of those are separate lines because they're separated by a vertex.
So if it's not a perfectly straight line, it's probably actually 2 lines.
Yes.
And there's a vertex in there.
Yes.
Got it.
So 6 sides. Here was our first vertex. 2, 3, 4, 5, and then another one pointing in for 6. And then our options over here, here are the words you need to choose from to put on the name line, and this is the name line. We can say pentagon, triangle, hexagon, or quadrilateral. Well, I know that a quadrilateral has 4 sides.
And I know that a triangle has 3.
Why don't you write the 3 down? That leaves us with a pentagon and a hexagon. So if they turn it over, you could clearly figure that out.
Yeah.
Do you know which one it is?
Yeah, I do, because I remember talking with you on the other page about a pentagon, meaning 5. And so even though I didn't know this before, the hexagon is going to be the answer for a shape that has 6 sides and 6 vertices.
Hexagon. So you guys have several things to do for each of these. Not only do you need to put the line through each of the sides and then write how many sides there are, you need to circle each vertex, write down the number, and then you need to tell us the name of that polygon, which is going to be one of these 4 shapes. And you might be using the name twice. You might have 2 quadrilaterals, 2 shapes that have 4 sides, so you'll have to write quadrilateral twice. You might have 2 hexagons or 2 pentagons. So just because you said it once doesn't mean you won't be using it again on another one.
Maybe even like 3 times.
Maybe. Last but not least, says draw more sides to make the shape. So this one says pentagon. How many sides, go back up there, does a pentagon have?
It has 5 sides and 5 vertices.
Okay, so far we have, I'm gonna do this a little darker so kids can see it. I have 1, 2, 3 sides. I need to have 5 sides. So how many more sides do I need to make this a complete pentagon?
Okay, well if you need 5 and you already have 3, that's just gonna leave us with 2 sides that we need to draw.
Okay, can I do this?
Oh, no, that's only 1 side.
It is only one
that
side.
would have given you a quadrilateral.
Okay, so can you show me what we could do to make that a 5-sided figure?
Yeah, I'm not the best drawer, but I'm gonna go, maybe I could do like 1 line down here to that dot, and then I can only draw 1 more, so
connect it right across.
Yeah, I'm just going to connect them.
Good. They don't have to be a perfect shape that you recognize.
Okay.
As long as it has 5 sides and 5 vertices, and let's count.
Then it's
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, let's check your vertices.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Then we did it. Good job.
Cool.
So here, quadrilateral should have
4 sides.
And a hexagon should have
6 sides.
That one will probably be tricky, but we're going to look for you to do your best. It doesn't have to be a perfect 6 sides. They don't all have to be the same length, but they do need to be 6 sides.
I think that's a great challenge.
I think so too.
Really like those problems. And I bet if they work hard, even if they have to erase a couple times, they'll be able to do it.